let's go to the question of the day. What mistake do you know you made? Hello friends, I'm Fred. Here we talk about investing in business, real life and training. And this question is about real life. So I prepared 3 insights for you today about mistakes that we know we made. And even then, we continue doing that. First of all, I'd like to recognize here that even the perspective of a mistake, to recognize a mistake, we need to think about what you think about life, in what perspective we analyze life. For example, if we recognize that everything is relative, then maybe you are never recognize that you ever made a mistake. Because if everything is, um, there is no absolute system to work in life if everything is relative. So maybe you are not going to do any mistake or to make any mistake or to commit any mistakes in your life. And this question, it resonates with the question if there is a God or not. Because think about that. If all human beings are equal, and all of us, we have our perspectives about life, and all of us are here, for example. No one as are, is above other people because every human being are equal. So what we have are just our taste, our way to think about life and subjects and everything. So either you have your own perspective and you are going to commit a mistake or make a mistake based on your own perspective of things, or maybe you can adjust your perspective and then you are never going to realize that you make a mistake. On the other hand, if you recognize that there is a God, if you believe that there is a God, then it's easier to understand the moral of the world, because the moral is gave by God, is given by God, because we are here and God is here. He is above us. So first of all, we need to recognize and understand that. Otherwise, it's difficult to think about mistakes. Because if everything is relative, how we are going even consider mistakes? So, with all that put, I have 3 insights here for us. The first one is here. There is a particular type of mistake that is different from the others. It's not a mistake you make because you didn't know better. It's not because of lack of information. It's because it happens when you already know that you are wrong. You felt that internal discomfort. You heard that small voice in your head saying, this is probably not going to end well. And yet you did it. And why? Because in that moment, the short-term benefit looked more attractive than the long-term consequence. So, in this kind of mistake, you are going to do it wrong because you recognize that the benefit is bigger than the consequence that you are going to face eventually, or not. Maybe the consequences are not going to hit you at any moment. You understand now why I was talking about that circumstance of you believing if there is a God or not? Because If you believe that there is a God, then the consequences are going to get to you eventually. You don't know when, but at some time in the future, at some point in the future, the consequences are going to get to you. But if you believe that everything is relative and there are no God and reality is just material, so what's the problem in making mistakes? There is no problem with that. Now, the second insight. Some mistakes are difficult to admit, not because they are too big, but because they challenge the image you have of yourself. Maybe you see yourself as disciplined, but you know you procrastinate something important. Maybe you see yourself as rational, but you made an emotional decision. Maybe you see yourself as a good partner, but you know you failed in a relationship. The problem is not the mistake itself. The problem is admitting the mistake forces you to update your identity. So here is the key: updating your identity. Because think about the situation. If you stay with your old identity, which is not recognizing the mistake, you are in a comfortable position. Because, for example, if you are avoiding to train and you have all kind of excuses to that. For example, let's say that you are anxious, and because you are anxious, you are overeating and you are not training. You are 100% okay with that because you are anxious. Problem solved. You don't have nothing anymore to develop or do anything else about that because you are anxious, so you are overeating and you are not training. But if you face the situation, oh man, I am anxious, so I need to change that. I need to face that I'm anxious and the guilt is on me. The one to blame is myself. So I have to change this situation. Now it's a complete different perspective because you are going to change. But you have to evolve. In the first situation, when you do not admit, you don't have to evolve. Because you solve the problem by putting the blame in the anxiety that you have. Now the third insight that I have here for you. Sometimes you made a mistake, but you keep repeating it because somehow you are still gaining something from it. Maybe comfort, maybe validation, maybe short-term pleasure. So it's this third insight. It is related to the second one. Maybe you are gaining something. For example, in the situation that I described for you, that the guy who was anxious, he was gaining comfort because he doesn't need to go train and he doesn't need to pay attention to his eating. So that's why he's in a comfort zone and he doesn't need to change anything. So, alright guys, that's all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments what you think about this subject, and thank you for everyone who is following the channel, alright? Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next video.